was the Soviet gift to Poland. It was built in 1955, but survived war. Now they're freshly reconstructed and painted, well, renovated and painted. And the monument that you have here, this is the Juliusz Słowacki. He's a popular Polish writer. We have to read his books at school. They're pretty difficult, especially for young children, because the language is difficult. And why his statue is in here? Because he used to work in here when there was a library. And thanks to that, people to commemorate him and his work put his monument in this place.
This is one of the most important squares for us. Why? Because here you can see the monument of Warsaw Uprising. I told you already on the bus a bit about it, because in 1944 Warsaw had enough of foreign rules in here. Warsaw had enough of Nazis in this country. Warsaw wanted to be a free city, a free country generally. So people decided to set the uprising. Of course, Nazis had to find out about it finally, but Nazis thought that people will fight only maximum for a week, and they fight it 63 days. They caused lots of destruction also to the Nazis army. Of course, Nazis thought that they didn't have any chances against them, but still, thanks to that uprising, more or less, Nazis left the city. Of course, on the way leaving the city, they destroyed and burned everything, what was on the way. They stole all the paintings, monuments, furniture, anything what was precious, anything what was worth lots of money. This monument in here is commemorating all the people who were fighting during the uprising. What is important that in the uprising took part not only the soldiers but also civils. Everybody and anybody who could and who knew how to use the gun, how to behave and what to do. So these were also women. So this main part symbolized those people who were killed and who were fighting during the Warsaw Uprising. The second part, which you can see more to the left side, smaller one, is showing us the soldier coming from the underground tunnel. Why? Because people even wanted to think about starting the uprising, they had to communicate somehow. And it was not possible to do it on the street because people were watched, they were controlled. So if they wanted to do it, they had to be invisible so that the Nazis wouldn't find out about them. And they did. They decided to use the underground tunnels to move from one part to another part of the city. Of course, I'm saying now underground tunnels, yeah, what a big deal. Well, remember, underground tunnels, this is the place where all the dirt and everything comes from toilets and from the whole city. They were very narrow, they were very dark, slippery. Sometimes they were so small that only children could go through. And also important was that, like, for example, 1 kilometer takes us to walk 20 minutes maximum. It took, by using the tunnels, up to 5 hours. So, and they had to perfectly know which way to take, where to turn, because if they took the wrong turn, they ended up in totally different place. So very often they were guided by women who were working, let's say, as guides and leading them through the old tunnels. So that's why we have here the soldier coming from the underground tunnel, and his friend is helping him, but we also see the priest in the Bible. Why? Because the priest knows that if they will be caught by Nazis, they will be killed right away without any discussion. So he's praying for their souls. walcząca, fighting Poland, and the Polish name Powstanie Warszawskie, which means Warsaw Uprising. So this monument is out of three pieces, let's say. The big building, the green building which is surrounding this is the Court of Justice, and we have 63 columns. Some of them has also PW, and there are written sentences on each column in Polish and in Latin, saying how you should behave to obey the law. I am personally laughing that all the politics should come here and read it because they need it, but probably it won't happen. I can never. Other problems they will understand exactly. And the church. Here is the army church. To see the situation, they were watching how the old town looked like where were Nazis. There was a special agreement between Nazis and Polish army that on the top, on the roof of the church, there is the Red Cross. Don't bomb it because that means that there's the hospital in the basement. They even bombed such churches more. In this church, the same happened. In the basement, they were injured soldiers who were taken care by priests and nuns. And Nazis blown off the church, and the church collapsed and buried the live people in the basement. With many churches happened then. They knew that we are Catholics. They knew how important churches were, and they knew people were always looking for help and for shelter.